This video, I am going to be going over the French version of Day of Atonement called Le Grand Pardon 2. Now, you know, a couple weeks ago I already reviewed the English version Day of Atonement, but recently YouTube user G4LBM uploaded the French version, Le Grand Pardon 2, in 10 parts. Now, for high school, I signed up for my elective as French language. So I thought, hey, I'll watch Day of Atonement in French, get to memorize some of it. But what I found out with the French version, it differs a lot from the American version. I don't know if it's because the American version was on VHS or what, but it's way longer than the American version. The American version's 127 minutes. That one's like 165, 170, close to 3 hours long. Not just 2 hours and 7 minutes, it's close to 3. It's way longer. There's a bunch of scenes that weren't in there. And plus, like, the screen on the French version is more zoomed out. Like on the VHS, it's like really zoomed in, which I didn't really understand. And for the French version being longer, I don't know, my only guess is that because it's on DVD and the American version's on VHS and they didn't want 2 tapes. But I mean, some of the scenes that were different when at the bar mitzvah, when the priest shows up, you see him on the phone with their cousin Roland, played by Gerard Darman. And he's got like a lizard crawling up his back. There's a bunch of dialogue scenes that weren't in the French, that weren't in the American version. Of course, I didn't know what they were saying. Like a bunch of scenes of people talking. There's a scene where, like, they're standing by this statue-looking thing. I couldn't even tell what it was. It's just a lot of stuff that was not in the American version. I really do not understand why. No, like, you see the bar mitzvah scene, like, none of this, like, who's this guy that he's talking to? This guy wasn't in the American version. Then it cuts to, like, this beach, and this girl, like, picking up the sand, and you go, like, running it to that, then you see a lizard crawl up Gerard Darman's back. Like, what? If Day of Atonement ever gets a DVD release, it would be nice if it did, but if it ever did, I would like them to redub the French version and put it on American DVD in English, because I do not get why they did that. Like, I don't know, it's just weird how the French version was way longer. I timed it, it was around 106, like, it was between 160 minutes and 170, and the VHS box only says 127. So I don't get it. I seriously don't. I don't get why it's longer. It's like, it's a movie I really, really like, and now, like, the French version's longer than the American version. I'm like, damn it. Like that. I just don't get it. There's a scene where that silent character with the mustache shoots this girl, or no, not a girl. He shoots this guy in this old lady's arms, and I'm like, who's that old lady? What? This was never in. It was hard to watch because I'm like, what is this? I was getting all confused. My only reason for the length of the French version is because the American version was on VHS and they shortened it. That's my only explanation. But as for the American version, having the screen, like, this is the French version, okay? This is the screen of the French version. Then the American version is like this. I don't get why the screen got pushed in like that. There's a bunch, like at least 45 minutes worth of stuff that was not in the American version, like the lizard crawling up Gerard Darman's back, a bunch of scenes with that Jamaican-looking lady on Gerard Darman's island. There's that. Just a bunch of scenes that way. Plus the credits. Plus in the American VHSs, in the opening narration where it explains what happened in the previous film, where it says, in 1982, Raymond Batoon, head of a, that kind of stuff. The screen is like really widescreen for some reason. Then it cuts to present time. And then, like, in the ending, when they're showing them put the flowers on the grave, it goes widescreen again. The French version doesn't do that, so hence it was easier to read the credits on the French version. Yeah, and hence, the VHS had the screen pulled in. I thought at the end of Day of Atonement, the grave only had Maurice's picture on it. But in the French version, since the screen's more pulled out, you see that it has Gerard Darman, Maurice, and their other cousin on there. Like, this French version is totally different. So, I don't know, that's just me giving a quick little rant about the difference between Les Grands Pardons 2 and the English version, Day of Atonement. I will talk to you later.